He looks around to see families crying for their loved ones who have transformed into things they've never seen before. Norman is filled with sorrow and hesitation but refuses to give in to them. He knew this would happen, but he will not give up on his dream of living freely with his family. He will not turn back now. He raises his blade to sink it into the back of Vilk. However, right before he does that, Emma and Ray arrive and stop him. Emma looks at Norman and sees the scared little child he once was. She tells him that she will not let him leave them behind again like he did before. Norman is happy to see that Emma and Ray have found Sanju, but he tells her that there's nothing they can do now. The plan has already begun and all that's left to do is for them to finish the job. Emma refuses to hear this. She tells him that Mujika is on her way to help. She doesn't think Norman is a clapper. She claims to know him. He wouldn't do this. He doesn't want to do this. She tells him that she doesn't want him to keep doing what he's doing, always sacrificing himself to protect them. She doesn't want him to feel solely responsible for all the children. That's the reason he goes to these measures. He's doing it for them, but that's not who he truly is. She approaches him while trying to comfort him. She tells him that she knows that he's scared, but Norman doesn't want to admit that he is scared. Emma continues to tell him that he looks like a scared little child, shaking with a blade in hand. Norman doesn't want to hear it. He tells her to stay back. He doesn't want her to get any closer, telling her that she won't be able to stop any of it. But Emma doesn't listen. She continues to approach until she reaches Norman. She takes his hand and tells him that she refuses to let him leave them behind because he wants to protect them. She knows that he really does want to protect them because he's smarter, stronger, and kind. But she also knows that he can be arrogant and a coward too. She wants him to have faith in her and the other children. They can take care of themselves if he gives them the chance. She wants him to share his pain, suffering, and fears with them and not be scared on his own. She feels like he's pushing them away, doing things he doesn't believe in for their sake, and that's not fair. Norman tries to deny this, but Ray also intervenes and shares that he agrees with Emma. He yells at Norman for thinking that they would be okay with what he's doing when they know that he's being crushed by the burden alone. He tells him that he should know them better than that because more than family, they are friends after all. Despite the flames consuming the town, Emma believes they can still change the outcome and still be friends. They won't judge Norman for what he's done already because he was trying to protect them. They want him to be part of them again, grow and laugh with them till the very end. Norman finally lets his emotions take hold of him and breaks down crying. He, too, wants to grow together with them. It's all he ever wanted. But that won't be possible. He confesses that he lied to them about something. At Lambda, they did, in fact, inject him with drugs and such during their experiments. He's been having side effects since, and this will eventually lead to his demise. Before Emma and Ray can react to this news, a degenerated demon shows up to attack. The three children must hurry up and get out of there before they find themselves in the stomach of a monster. Vilk, who is still nearby, suddenly cuts his hand, probably wanting to feed it to the monster, causing panic in his granddaughter. Mujika arrives with Dawn and Gilda to find Sanju facing off with another degenerated demon. Sanju cuts his own hand as well and feeds it to the demon while he regenerates another one. The effect of the evil blood starts to do its work on the demon, and it collapses to the floor while regaining its form and intelligence. The demon's wife comes up to them and thanks them for saving her husband. Mujika gives the wife a cup full of evil blood and asks her to drink it with her child to never degenerate again. The wife does as told and thanks them once again before leaving. Vilk asks about Mujika, who Emma mentioned earlier. He sounds a little delighted to know that she's still alive. After a while, Norman decided to let his team know that the plan had changed. It takes some convincing, but they all end up deciding that they care more about Norman than revenge and stop the attacks. Mujika arrives to let them know that most of the townspeople have been saved by the evil blood and everything will be back to normal soon. Mujika promises that they will stay behind to cover for them, explaining what happened and will come find them at the temple later. The children leave and head back to the temple. As soon as they arrive, the other children, who were left there, immediately inform them of some bad news. They heard, through the radio, that the children still left at Gracefield House were going to get shipped out. Everyone begins to worry. They don't understand why the farm would ship anyone at that moment since it normally takes 6 years for any child to get shipped out. Norman tells them that it could be Lambda. He even blames himself for not destroying everything at the facility. He explains to the others that the drug that Lambda was creating would help children's brains grow faster, which would be cheaper than the traditional way of raising them. The success of these experiments would then mean that all the farms would be conducted under the Lambda system. This seems like it's already starting to happen. Emma becomes eager to head to Gracefield House and save the others before the shipment, but Ray voices that it could be a trap as well. Emma doesn't care. She wants to try and do something before it's too late. Vincent thinks that it's absurd to even think about breaking into Gracefield since it's the most secure farm of all. As they argue, Mujika and Sanju arrive at the temple. They inform the children that the town has been successfully saved, but they are scared that if word gets out, the townspeople will be targeted by the royals and get clapped. Vilk, who tagged along with the children, gets up and tells Mujika that it's fine even if that's the case. He thinks it's better to be alive with the evil blood than to be alive as wild animals with no intelligence. The townspeople were starving anyway. They were going to degenerate sooner or later. He introduces himself to Mujika as one of the people she saved with her blood 700 years ago, making her delighted to know that there were other survivors. Vilk then gives Emma a piece of pen as a gift. He says that he was given it by another human he found 15 years ago in the forest. The person was badly injured, and he was afraid that he would get eaten by monsters that would find him there. there. Vilk says that the man held tightly to the piece of pen until his last moments. His final words were that he wanted Vilk to give the children of the farm the piece to give them some hope. As soon as the man took his last breath, Vilk brought him home to share him with his family over dinner. He says he remembers the way the man clung onto life. This made him realize that humans have will, souls, and people they love too. Just like demons, they are not just food. Vilk regretted what he had done, but for the sake of his family, he did it. He didn't let anyone know that he had the evil blood within him for the past 7 centuries. He didn't need to eat human meat, but he didn't want to be suspicious. He wonders that if he had shared his blood with the other demons, maybe he would have saved some of their lives. He confesses that when he comes to the temple to pray and make offerings, he's doing it to find out if what he did was the right thing to do. However, now, he wants to change, do better, and not regret his life. He tells Emma that he doesn't know if the piece of pen he gave her is of any use, but he hopes that it will serve her well. Emma thanks Vilk and finds a pen to place the piece at the back of it. The pen instantly displays a hologram, showing them a blueprint of the Gracefield house all the way to the underground gate that leads to the human world. It will help them be able to break in and manage to escape. On top of that, Norman also notices that there's a formula of a drug that can help cure them of their side effects from the Lambda experiments. There's hope for Norman and his subordinates, and this makes all of them happy. Vilk is happy to have been able to help and takes Demon Emma on their way back to the village. As they walk away, Norman stops them. He offers his apologies for almost clapping the old demon man, his family, and his community. Demon Emma comes to face Norman. She also apologizes for what the other demons are doing at the farms. Vilk calls the demon Emma so that they can go home, and Emma finally learns that she shares a name with a little demon. Emma runs after Vilk and tells him that she's grateful for what he's done for them, and Vilk smiles at her before departing. This makes Norman realize that Emma would have found a way to help everyone, no matter what. He can't believe that he didn't listen to her sooner. However, he's happy for what she did, helping save the humans and the demons. Ray tells him that Emma does the right thing every time. That's the kind of person she is. They all decide that they will go back to Gracefield House, save the children, and escape into the human world. Back at Gracefield House, the children left there are playing, unaware and unsuspecting of what might be going on inside. At that moment, one of the sisters comes to call them inside. She shows them their packed bags and tells them that they will be leaving soon. The children are happy to know that they will all leave together this time. All of them except one, Phil, the only one who knows about Emma's plans. On the other side, the preparations are underway and are going well. Mujika and Sanju are also helping out. Emma feels that she's troubling the two, but Mujika assures her that it's no problem because they are friends now. Emma eases up and asks Norman and Ray to talk in private because she has something to tell them. Meanwhile, the children at Gracefield House get ready, but Phil can't bring himself to. He's scared. Two of the children ask him why he hasn't gotten ready yet. Phil tries to tell them something with a shaky voice. However, one of the sisters arrives, and she tells him to get ready right then, stopping whatever he was planning to reveal. By night, the children at the temple are done with preparations. They fire up some hot air balloons and depart to Gracefield. At the same time, the children at Gracefield are ready to move out too. One of the sisters leads them out of the house to the gate. All of them are joyous, chatting among themselves with smiles on their faces. Phil is the only one with a glum face, shaken by the sudden change of plans. This scene is overseen by some demons who work with the humans, one of which is Peter Rattray, who runs the farms. They see as the children at Gracefield House leave and as the hot air balloons arrive with the escaped children. Peter Rattray and the demons in charge take pleasure in seeing Emma and her gang arrive a little too late. There won't be anyone to save. The lead demon orders the guard demons to block all the entrances to capture the children who are just arriving. They can even clap them if they resist capture. The guards waiting for the arrival of the escaped children, Phil and the other children being shipped out, make it to the gate. When it closes behind them, Phil becomes increasingly anxious. He's scared that Emma won't find him and the others there when she comes back. As the balloons approach closer, the guards are ordered to shoot them down, which they do. When the guards go to check them to capture the children, they are shocked to see that the children are not there. Suddenly, the balloons ignite and explode. This alarms everyone. Phil and the others become scared at the sudden explosions. Just when the guards realize that the balloons are decoys, suddenly, Sanju and Norman's subordinates jump out from other balloons and kill them. The lead demon orders for more guards to be sent to the scene. He wants the children captured no matter what. 3 other balloons land inside the yard next to an old house that burned down. All the children get out to begin their plan. They head to a well that didn't burn down with the house and make their way through the underground tunnels. They make it to the underground facility where the guards quickly spot them. Luckily for them, the guards are lax and get taken out. The children begin to hack into the facility's systems. Phil and the other children, along with the sisters, are still waiting inside the gate, waiting for further communication. When they hear the commotion outside, they begin to worry and some of them check on what the situation is. Phil's name is called out in a hushed tone by Jemima, one of the children who left with Emma's group. She was sent with some other children to blend in and find Phil. Phil is happy and relieved to see her and the others as well. He realizes that Emma is back. Jemima hands Phil a note from Emma, telling him that he is, now, in charge of another phase of their plan and that she believes in him. Phil gets himself together and accepts the responsibility. Emma and the others split into small teams and manage to gain access to the farm's system. She shows herself on camera for Peter Rattray and the demons to see her. When they realize that the children manage to infiltrate the premises, Emma shoots the camera, causing the whole system to shut down. This infuriates Peter so much. How could he be fooled by mere children and defects? He doesn't understand how they manage to infiltrate them. However, he remembers that William Minerva is still helping the children even after his death. Emma and her team make their way through the facility, and they destroy all the cameras on their way. Norman trails them and helps by opening and locking doors for them. Phil also does his bit with what he's been entrusted, having the other children join in too. With the help of Vincent hacking into the system, Emma connects to the speaker and speaks. The children are already riled up from hearing Emma's voice and are waiting for a signal that she will give them to act. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.